Hello everyone, welcome to GametechUK and this video, which is an unboxing and assembly video for the Porsche 911 GT3 replica wheel from Fanatec. The package comes in 5 individual boxes, so not only am I going to show you exactly what's in each box, I'm then going to go on to fully assemble the product. There is a link in the description taking you to the website, and for full transparency, that is an affiliate link, so if you do purchase anything from there, they will send me a small commission. So let's get on with today's video. In the first box is the rim itself. This is the replica rim of the Porsche 911 GT3 R. This is the leather edition. They do also do a suede edition. You can see it's the leather edition. It has the red covering at the top. The leather is absolutely fantastic. The stitching around the back is really perfect actually, and it's got the replica Porsche badge. Next up is the quick release unit. I do like the quick release. The couple of rims that I've already got, one has quick release, which is the GT3 McLaren, and one hasn't, which is the Gran Turismo wheel. The difference between them is night and day. Then we have the Podium advanced paddle module. Now this is very high quality and is set up for all sorts of rims, not just specifically this 911 GT3 rim. It is set up for larger or smaller diameter wheels, but this is where we're going to be dealing with the gear change. Then we have the Podium hub. This is the brain of the unit. This is what connects everything together. It's from the Podium range, so it's going to be extremely high quality and everything is essentially going to bolt to this. The next part that goes towards being a replica is the button module endurance. This is a almost replica of what was in the GT3 911 wheel. It's got an OLED screen, we've got lights across the top for your rev limiter, we've got lights for flags and other units as well. Lots of buttons on there. This goes behind the actual rim itself, which I'll show you in a second, but all the buttons feel really nice and it looks just like the real car. Let's start assembling this lovely Porsche 911 GT3 rim. You can see we're going to start with the advanced paddle module, and you get a selection of gear shifters. Now this depends on personal taste, it also depends on the diameter of the wheel. I'm going to go for the larger ones on each one. It makes sense, it's a nice big wheel. In fact, the diameter is exactly the same as the McLaren GT3 rim that I've already got. And we're going to put these on there, just use a couple of screws. It's a little bit awkward actually, because these are really highly magnetic, as you can see there. And it's always trying to get these tools, but yeah, we get there in the end. Next we're going to move to the main gear shifter, and I do like the way that they've got the plus and the minus on there. It's just a little bit of detail. We're also going to use a spacer to enable us to differentiate with our fingers the difference between the smaller paddle, which I just put on, which you can use as a button if you wanted to. You could set that as a light flash, for example, and the main gear shifter, and the spacers are included, and that's what we're going to use. Obviously we're going to do the same to the other side, so we should end up with our advanced paddle module with both of the paddles that we put on and the included already fitted clutch paddles. Now we've got our assembled paddles, it's time to get the Podium hub and bolt these to the side. It's a fairly easy step, quite an obvious step. The bolts obviously are included, but just take your time with this bit. You don't want to cross thread anything and you don't want to over tighten it either. Now the paddles are connected to the Podium hub. It's time to take out this little plastic cover with the Fanatec logo on there. Underneath there we can plug in either side of our paddles, and just using the cable management built into the plastic cover, we can just gently put it back on and screw it back in. Now it's time to get the quick release and bolt it to the Podium hub. Again, it's an easy step, but one that you just want to take your time with. You don't want anything cross-threading, and you want to gradually tighten up all the bolts so the quick release goes down nice and central, nice and square onto the Podium hub. With all that installed, we can put the button box module over the top of the unit, and you can just see the screw holes, and on top of the button box unit we get the Porsche 911 GT3 rim, and just very gently get the screws, put them in, find the biting point. Again, you don't want to over tighten, you don't want to cross thread. Once you finger tighten the whole lot, then you can get the Allen key and tighten them all down. Of course, not forgetting the USB-C cable that plugs from the button module into the Podium hub itself, and there we have it, a fully assembled 911 GT3 replica from Fanatec. Before you use this on PC or console, you will want to make sure your firmware and drivers are up to date. That is very, very important. Also, to get the little screen working, the OLED screen. Now, a lot of people are missing this. I'm seeing on the forums that people are still missing this option and wondering why the OLED screen isn't displaying, such as the fastest lap or the fuel. And that is because you need to go into FanaLab, and you will see across the top there, you will see something called ITM. You need to go into ITM, and as standard, it's set to legacy, and that's what you see on the screen. So it will do gear 1, gear 2, for example, but it won't do everything else. What you need to do is choose one of these profiles. So this one here, for example, will give you your gear, your lap, your position. This one's if you're going to play F1. This one's got DRS zone. So you can choose which one you want. It's fully customizable, but you will need to do that to get the OLED screen to work. It's not until everything's assembled and put together onto your rig and you're playing one of your favourite racing games that you realise what a lovely high-end bit of kit this actually is. The feeling of the steering wheel is actually unsurpassed on anything that I've found so far in sim racing. The leather is beautiful, the buttons are beautiful, even though it's not a bigger diameter than the McLaren GT3, maybe because obviously it's a circular rim rather than a GT rim. It feels bigger, it feels like you're more in control of the car, and from an immersive point of view, you know, you've got the Porsche badge on there if you're driving a Porsche. I mean, it's just one of the most immersive bits of kit that I've ever added to my sim racing setup. The LEDs are really bright. You've also got a flag system built into the steering wheel as well, so yellow flag, blue flag, that will all show up on the steering wheel, and it's actually makes it really immersive actually, and you're always looking down for information, especially now you've got the OLED screen, which will give you any information you want. It's quite configurable. You can have fuel on there, you could have fastest lap, you can have the time to the car in front or behind. It's very, very useful and will very quickly become part of your sim racing arsenal. Once I knew this was being sent by Fanatec, I was really excited to how high-end would essentially their flagship steering wheel actually feel. This is one of the most expensive steering wheels on their website outside of the BMW one that you can take to a real car, but this is essentially their flagship, this and the suede version, and I must say it really does feel the money. It feels expensive, it is expensive, but everything there, as you saw from the assembly video, everything's really high quality and feels heavy. The quick release on this is fantastic, and you know that really does work very, very well and matches a sort of steering wheel of this quality. I'm so happy with it, I can't tell you enough. I was also interested in how I would feel in something that's costing €650, comparing it with something like the McLaren GT3 rim that I've also got, which is about €180, and I wondered how if you would feel the difference. Well, you do. The McLaren GT3 up till now has been my go-to wheel, and it's fantastic. It's the most cost-effective upgrade you can do to a Fanatec steering wheel system. But I must say, and it is more expensive, it's a lot more expensive, it's €650. But once you get this in your hand, this is going to be my go-to steering wheel. It's absolutely beautiful. I suppose it is a little bit strange that they don't send this fully made, but I can understand because you can configure certain parts, but it would be nice to be able to just get a high quality product like this out of the box and put it straight onto your rim. Not everyone is going to like that assembly process, and there are bits that you've got to go careful with. You could over tighten something, you could cross thread something, so it would be nice to be able to configure and buy a ready-made version, but the assembly process was actually quite fun. So I must thank you for watching this video, and if you are interested in purchasing this rim, I hope this video has given you some information or has been helpful in some way. Like I say, there is a link in the description if you'd like to click through and go to the website. That is an affiliate link, so they will give me a small kickback if you do go on to purchase. But thank you for watching everyone, and I will see you in the next one.